r/ask Reddit. What is a seemingly mundane question you can ask somebody that will tell you a lot about their personality? What's the last thing you did for the first time? Well, now I'm having an existential crisis because I can't think of anything. Don't feel bad. It's really not the right year for that question. One of my standard job interview questions is, tell me about something you like doing that you're good at. I don't really care what the answer is. I just want to see passion, effort, and creativity. I don't really care what the answer is. Phew. Thank God for that, cause my answer's going down on your mom. Duck, you sure see. My father-in-law went on a job interview about 10 years ago and absolutely nailed the interview. As he was being shown around the office, a higher level person in that company who normally wasn't there just happened to be there that day. After they were introduced, he asked my Phil what kind of animal he would be. My Phil said he panicked and picked bear. He's a bigger guy. And the other guy said something along the lines of, that's a little too aggressive, maybe this isn't the job for you. So he didn't get the job, but I guess it worked out because he's got a pretty good job now, and if I was him I wouldn't want to work for someone who hires people based on what animal they think they would be. The right answer was, I'd be a parasite that lives in your eye and eats away your optical nerves. Oh, you sound like you'd be good in management. What would you do if you won the lottery? For me, it's a non-invasive way of listening to people's attitudes on finance in general, and also how they feel about the rich. First things first, I'm going to get a financial advisor. I'd have no idea what to do with that much money, and I don't want to end up a mess. Same here. My first thought about winning the lottery is, how do you go about finding a reliable financial advisor when you've just won the lottery and everybody is suddenly offering financial advice to you? Do you put the cart back when you're done shopping? I put my cart away, but seriously, whether someone puts their carts back really shows you what they think about rules, social norms, and whether they will follow them when someone isn't looking or judging them. It's really interesting, and it's called the shopping cart theory. Is this a real theory? It's not a single question, but by the second or third date with a guy I would ask him to go bowling. As it turns out, there's many ways to play the game. Do they take it too seriously and get competitive or angry if they don't do well? Does he act disinterested or bored of the game? Do they try to teach me how to play, or do they just try to be goofy, have fun with it? Do they order 2 pitchers of beer and get totally smashed? In my opinion, you can learn a lot about a person by the way they approach bowling. What if a guy just ducking sucks at bowling? Because I totally do, but I own it and still enjoy it. If you will still have fun and not be a grouchy competitive a-hole about it, then that's great. What book would you like to live in? A really, really big one. Practical, I see. Did I just see you digging through the trash? I didn't know we were playing Stardew Valley. Duck you, Alex. I hate you anyways. Got this one in an interview once. How do you go about eating a muffin? Learned a lot about muffin anatomy that day. It was a bakery after all. Edit. The bottom is also called a stem BTW. Just in case anyone needs some muffin trivia in their back pocket. Edit 2. Also known as stumps. Yes, this was a highfalutin place, so they preferred to refer to them as stems. Oh ho ho, he knew a guy at uni that sat at his desk, naked, and just slammed his face down into him like a dog eating out of a bowl. Guy was weird AF. I knew a guy. Sure you did. Naked muffin eating man. I've shared this before, but I feel it's pretty relevant and a great way to find out more about a person. Years ago I went out on a first date with this girl I met online. I thought she was very attractive and we had so much common that I thought she was perfect. In addition to that, we seemed to hit off well through texts. So I figured this date would go well. We're at this bar and she suggests we play a people watching game where we try to make up backstories for the other people there. I thought it sounded fun, especially since I played a similar game with friends on the train sometimes. Plus it felt like a good icebreaker to get us talking. Well, she managed to take all the fun out the game by being ridiculously cruel in all her assumptions for no real reason at all. It felt like she was projecting issues she had onto these people. Like one guy was sitting at the bar alone. Could have been waiting for someone. You never know. But because he was alone, he was a ducking loser with no friends that hates his life. I tried to steer the game back to a more light-hearted mood, but she was set on being mean. Completely killed the mood, and after that I lost all interest in her. I just couldn't see myself going on a second date with someone like that, even if she checked all other boxes. However, I did learn that it's a dumb and usually fun game you can use that will really tell you a lot about a person and how well you get along with them. I am like the most boring person to play this game with. Everyone is a spy, all of them. Backstories differ, but they're all spies. Every last one, lol. That's when you switch up the game a little. Spy or muck? Are you in favor of homeowner associations? This is a good one because everyone who is familiar with them has such strong reactions. Yeah, I knew a guy that was a co-worker in a different department. Apparently he was on the HOA board in his neighborhood and loved it. He was a total a-hole at work, so I knew that he terrorized his neighbors. Fav question I heard in an interview. What would you do if you came home and found a penguin in your freezer? It ends up not only being an icebreaker, but a good personality tell. Name him Pen Pen. Is the penguin dead or alive? I had a Tay ask me in a get to know you activity what my vision was for a perfect world, and I said round lol. That would have been awkward if your Tay was a flat earther. What was the last thing you did that gave you a childlike joy? My 14-year-old asked for a longboard last spring. I'd said no before because I figured it'd be something I spend a few $100 on that she'd try once, not be good at right away, and never touch it again. It wouldn't be the first time. After being locked up for 2 months with quarantine, I figured why not? It gets her outside and maybe something she'll enjoy. At that point I just wanted to get her out of her room and off her phone. I'd never seen her work so hard at something she wasn't good at right away. After 2 back-to-back 6-hour days of practice, she started to get the hang of it and asked me if I wanted to try. I couldn't even stand on a board when I was a kid, but as an adult I just got it. I wasn't on it 5 minutes and I said, I need one. We left right then and picked one up for myself. We cruised all spring, summer, and fall. Not only was it great for bonding, I hadn't felt that kind of joy since I was little. A moment I'll never forget. Can't wait for the snow to melt. Oh my gosh, that is awesome. First, I'm impressed she practiced for so many hours. Second, I love that you got it and wanted to go get one so you could do it together. In a job interview, ask your prospective supervisor how much vacation time and sick days they took last year. This is great because both extremes take pride in their answer and so will answer honestly. The no-low vacation boss is proud of how hard she or he works. But really it's bad if they don't take time off. They're coming in when they're sick. They're not recharging by taking vacation. And the expectation, even if unstated, is that their staff should follow that example. You'll feel guilty every time you call in sick or take vacation time. You want the boss who says I always take my vacation time and encourage my staff to as well. I called in a couple times last year when I came down with a cold. Good boss. Have you ever had a negative reaction when you asked this? I can see a scenario where the prospective supervisor is a little private about this. Could it be seen as too personal of a question to ask? I'm not playing devil's advocate or advocating to not ask. I'm actually curious as someone who's hoping to be interviewing for positions in the near future. If you want to play it safe, you can ask how many days a year on average the employees here take off. What is a seemingly mundane question you can ask somebody that will tell you a lot about their personality? You and OP are ducking genius. Ask them what they like to cook for breakfast. Does coffee count as cooking breakfast? Asking for a friend. A vanilla soy latte is technically a 3-bean soup. Does Mike Wazowski blink or wink? Depends on how he's holding his mouth. You are truly one of the great thinkers of our time. What superpower they want? I love this question because this girl I knew in college had just the best answer. She said the power to fill things, and after I looked at her kind of funny, she said, you know, like filling my bank account with money, filling my belly with spaghetti, or filling me enemies' bladders with urine. I know there are more powerful powers that could get me wealth or whatever, but man, teleportation would be dope. Can travel the world but always sleep in your own bed and never need to book a flight. Never need to use a public restroom. Easily visit family. Only take road trips if I want. Can live and work anywhere. The rest of life could be normal, but it'd be great. Do you have Reddit? Ha, WTF, who told you that? No, I don't have Reddit. Don't really know what that is. What is that, some sort of chat room? Who told you that? Let's talk about something else. The only right answer. What are you having for dinner tonight? It's really cool to hear about what people like, what their culture is like, because food is a huge part of that, and generally just how they live, expensive or cheap, quick or elaborate, adventurous or safe. Ham, mustard, maybe some baby carrots if they aren't bad yet. I might try to make that garlic bread, but it's been in the freezer for like 3 years now. As a kid, what was your go-to selection from the ice cream truck? Disappointment because we were too poor to get ice cream from the truck. The cheapest thing they offered because my dad insisted on getting me something even though I knew we couldn't really afford it. But it made him happy to get me a treat. ETA, thanks for all the awards. Folks, I feel like I should celebrate with an off-brand Otter Pop. Grilled cheese sandwich or a taco? Who wins in a fight? Grilled cheese. But only if it's a fair fight. If it's prison rules, I'd take the taco. That's pretty racist, but correct. Their favorite color. In so many ways, if they tell you without hesitating, it means they must have probably thought about it before. And it must be a color they really like, that makes them feel at home or makes them happy. Whenever I meet someone and they tell me their favorite color, it becomes a part of them to me. It's not that I haven't thought about it, but it's that I think it's a ridiculous concept. I don't have a favorite color. Some colors look good on me. Some colors look good in a room. Sometimes I want an object to be one color. The idea I'd prefer everything to be a color seems preposterous. I answer the question with all of my favorite colors. My favorite color when playing a game is red. My favorite color to wear is black, but my favorite color to look at on me is purple. Slight difference between what I prefer to wear and what I think looks good. My favorite color on my wife is gray. My favorite color to look at is a turquoise blue. My favorite color to say out loud is fuchsia. My favorite color to say is my favorite color when asked is maize, because as someone living in Michigan it communicates more than just a color. Interestingly, my favorite drink also has many different answers. Where were you the night of the murder? Which one? I'm going to need you to be more specific. When I interview people, I always ask them what their favorite type of crisps, chips to you across the water are. It's a throwaway question that's just designed to help them relax a little. But over the years I've noticed that people who give me a very classic brand flavor are very steady workers. Those that tell me they like a newer brand flavor have been generally less reliable and prone to distraction. Edit. Jesus Christ, this got a lot of weird hate. To attempt to answer a few things that I've seen pop up a lot. Yes, I know this isn't a thing. Obviously it's not a hard and fast rule. It's just an observation I've made over the years. It's literally an icebreaker question I use to help put people at ease if they're nervous. I don't use it to make hiring decisions because I know it's not a practical or useful way to hire. I'm an executive chef for a pub company in the UK. I've been in kitchens for 17 years and I'd hazard a guess that the sample size is around 600 people. I'd hate to be interviewed by you. You're dong arsehole prick cockulumble wank pheasant etc. Cool, I'm not interviewing you. Can you calm down now? You're racist. Potentially. I'm a white male. I understand enough about the world to know that I may have racial bias. But I know enough about myself to know I wouldn't pick someone based on race or ethnicity. My kitchens, like most, are full of people from all over the world and they're picked for their skill sets and experience over anything. I literally want the best people for the job. That way my kitchens run smoothly and efficiently. You're biased. If I am, then it's subconsciously. I would have to be presented with two absolutely identical candidates with the only difference being crisp preference to have it form part of a conscious decision. I eat generic brand and flavor. What does that make me? I literally don't know or care. I'm sure you're a wonderful person unless you eat salt and vinegar Pringles. In which case, you have a lot of hate in your heart. Snack preference profiling, huh? Are you a snackist? Think his hiring process is weird? You should see what he does when he lays off staff. My husband used to work for Bed Bath and blah blah. He told me part of his job was to put carts away. He said that was his favorite part about the job. Wasting time walking around the parking lot finding carts and putting them away. He got to be outside, chill by himself, not have to deal with other worse tasks, etc. Of course this story only came up after I gave him some shit for not putting the cart back one time. This story was his elaborate rationale for not putting a cart back and to prove he was in fact a nice, normal, compassionate human. Normally, a fastidious cart returner, I started to leave my cart, thinking I was actually being nice and even more compassionate than ever before. I probably only did it to 5x until I realized he's just an a-hole who has now made me into an even bigger a-hole. I now get to think about how much we are both a-holes in our own ways every time I return a cart. Do you install your toilet paper with the flap over or under? If they say under, they're heathens. This is one where I know I'm the outlier, but I don't understand why. I genuinely don't care. I put the roll in however it happens to be oriented. Over, under, whatever. I have no idea why this is a hill folks will die on. There actually is a reason why though, if you want to know. It's got to do with the tension for when you pull off a piece. If you grab the flap and pull to tear, if it's the under flap it will cause the roll to continue to roll in that direction and unravel more than necessary. But if it's over, the weight of the roll will stop the motion from continuing in that direction and make it easier to tear the piece off. I'm doing a poor job of explaining because I'm not a scientist, but try it sometime and see for yourself. What's your favorite dinosaur? In my last year of college, I took a prehistoric history class and was loving it. I, a history major, commuted by light rail to school and would end up spending the hour or so on the train congregating with other history majors. One day, I asked this group, "What's your favorite dinosaur?" Most of the people gave answers like velociraptors or that they hadn't really been interested in dinosaurs since they were kids, which was fair enough. But one guy said, "I don't believe in dinosaurs and that the earth was 6,000 years old." This was a guy that was studying history for the sake of teaching children history, and he was denying that most of the earth's history didn't exist, despite learning otherwise in the classes he was specializing in. I lost a lot of respect for him that day, and now, having a favorite dinosaur is a barometer test of mine. Edit. Thanks for the awards. But please don't feel the need to spend money like that for Reddit awards. My favorite is the Archaeopteryx, but I usually tell people that I like the Brontosaurus since its name means thunder thighs. Edit 2. Yes, dinosaurs are technically prehistory. I did not use history correctly in the academic sense. I appreciate you all for pointing it out since it was a teachable moment. But I would love it even more if you could also include your favorite dinosaur with your comment pointing that out. D. What is the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow? If they know, that will tell me a lot. Edit. Apparently, I didn't put the word velocity in there at first. Haha. African or European? What soup they like? Vanilla soy latte. I see you made it this far down. Love the reference from the same thread. Asking about why something ended, be it a past job or a relationship, you learn a lot pretty quickly about someone. My girlfriend's dad always uses one interview question that makes or breaks a possible hire. Why are manhole covers round? The goal isn't to know the answer, it's to show that you are willing to critically think about a problem before you say you need help. Edit. Spelling. And thank you for the silver kind stranger. Because pipes are round, because people are roundish, because circles possibly use less material than squares, because they are super heavy, and if they are round then they can be rolled on their edge. You're like jazz? Do you prefer night or day? Night. It's calm and peaceful. I very much enjoy my alone time, and night when everyone's asleep is the best. Do you sleep with your socks on? Yes or no? Alternative phrasing. How do you judge people as fast as possible? In a group setting we had a facilitator ask, do you judge people based on what they're wearing? My friend answered, it depends on what they're wearing. It brought me joy. Edit. People are really analyzing this. My friend commented what she did because she obviously does judge people on what they're wearing. It was snarky and made me laugh. That's about it. Saving this thread for my next human interaction. I foresee much less awkward silence. Wish me luck. What do you know Tim Curry from? Edit. Wow. RIP inbox. Thanks for the award. Do you have pets? No. The stuck in a hole. Ooh squirrel. Semicolon, then check to see if they get excited at the prospect of a squirrel. What does HP stand for? If you won $10 million in a lottery, what would you do with the money? You'll know almost immediately if they are selfish or generous, greedy or giving, shallow or deeply thoughtful, financially responsible or just plain stupid. Or, they know how to craft a believably generous or responsible response due to social expectations while knowing that in the case of it occurring they would just keep the money. Don't put too much stock in hypotheticals, since with a lot of them you or even they won't know how they would act when the chips were down. How would you describe the internet to a caveman? It will show you how they look at what the internet is used for. For example, some might say it's a source of information, or it's a way to connect people who are far away. I know one person who said they wouldn't explain it to a caveman because they wouldn't go back in time without AC. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.